Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. K. Anil Kumar, Assistant Professor from Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. So student, today we are going to talk on module Religion and Magic from the paper Socio-Cultural Anthropology. From this module, you will able to learn to understand the explanatory and functional theories of religion. You also learn the different types of religion prevailing among the primitive society. You also learn about the magical practices in prehistoric period. You will be able to understand the different types of magic and the principles underlying. So, religion has an inherent and unchanging meaning. It has suggested the pursuit of the Holy Grail and untending quest for desirable something lying perpetually in the distance. A religion is an organized collection of beliefs, cultural systems, worldviews that relate humanity to an order of existence. So many religions have narrative symbols and sacred histories that aim to explain the meaning of life or universe from the beliefs about the cosmos and human nature. People may derive morality, ethics, religious laws, or preferred lifestyle. Anthropologists have commonly called religion a cultural universe. One of the many things, including marriage, incest, prohibitions, the family, and the social organizations found everywhere in the world. No society ever observed has failed to display something readily identifiable to scholars as religion. Magic is use of rituals, symbols, actions, gestures and language that are believed to exploit supernatural forces. The belief in and the practice of magic has been present since the earliest human cultures. Today, definition of religion. According to the philologist Max Muller, the root of English word religion, the Latin religio, was originally used to mean only reverence for God or the gods, carefully pondering of divine things, pity. The typical dictionary definition of religion refers to a belief in or the worship of a god or gods, or the service and worship of God or the supernatural. Edward Burnett Taylor defined religion as the belief in spiritual being. The anthropologist Clifford Grigg defined religion as a system of symbol which acts to establish powerful, pervasive, and long-lasting moods and motivations in men by formulating conceptions of a general order of existence and clothing. These conceptions, with such as an aura of factuality that moods and motivations seem uniquely realistic. The sociologist Emile Durkheim, in his seminal book The Elementary Forms of the Religion Life, defined religion as a unified system of beliefs and practices relative to sacred things. Explanatory theories of religion. Anthropological theories of religion have been concerned mainly with examining the content of various conceptions of the supernatural as prevalent in different societies at different times. The earlier anthropologists also trace the evolution of religion from cruder to developed forms. Recent theories concentrate on outlining the functions of religion. Animism, the earliest anthropological theory about primitive religion, seeking to trace its origin and explain it, was given by Edward Bernard Taylor. He said that although the origin appears to be multiple, yet there is only one idea underlying it, with belief in soul, that is, anima. Hence, the name animism for this theory. Taylor conjecturally arguments ran as follows: primitive man had certain experiences in his dreams. He engaged in various types of activities even while he was sleeping. He met his dead ancestors in dreams and had hallucinatory experiences about them and other beings. While he was awake, he heard the echoes of his own voice. He saw his own reflection in ponds, pools, and rivers, and he failed to disentangle himself from his shadow. Even while he was having these understandable experiences, something of much deeper import must also have happened periodically and sets the primitive man's mind thinking. People must have died. This catastrophe must have been a great challenge. It was thus the belief in such an unseen thing or power which kept people alive when it was in them, and made them dead when it left their bodies emerged. Such a thing or a power is called soul. But how was it that sleep, so very like death, was not death? And how was it that people had all these various experiences in dreams, and while awake heard echoes and saw shadows and reflections? Taylor says primitive man must have thought there must be two souls in a human being, that is, a free soul which could go out of him and have experiences, and a body soul if it left the body resulted in its death. The former may have been associated with the represented by breath and shadow, the latter by blood and head. Primitive man must have come to the conclusion that when the body soul left the body permanently, the person concerned dead, and his soul become a ghost or a spirit. So Taylor believed that an attitude of awe and reverence towards this intangible and non-material spiritual beings forms the core of the earliest form of primitive religion. These spiritual beings are not under control and have therefore to be propitiated lest should do harm, and in order that they may render help. Thus, ancestor worship was the earliest temples. Animism consists of such a belief in the role of spiritual beings in human life. It is a kind of polytheism. Taylor believed that in course of time this was evolutionary development in religious beliefs and forms, and the progress was from polytheism towards monotheism. Next, animism and manism. Taylor's earliest critics said that animism is a later development in the history of religion. They postulated a pre-animistic stage when religious beliefs supposedly consist mainly in the belief that everything has life and is animate. Prominent among these writers were Pius and Max Muller. The latter's name is associated with the theory of naturalism. More recently, Marett evolved a special form of animatist theory which he called manism. Marett said that the entire religious life of the primitive is born out of their belief in a certain ununderstandable, impersonal, non-material, and unindividualized supernatural powers which takes about in all the objects, animates and inanimate, that exist in the world, lies more or less beyond the reach of the senses, but is manifested as a physical force or such other excellences as a man can think of in himself, others, and also in objects around him. It may differ in intensity, the degree in which it is present in a person or an object, but in essence, it is always the same. Such a set of beliefs merit called animatism or manism, after the term mana used by Melanesians to designate this force. Majumdar's description and analysis of the conception of bonga among the Ho falls in line with Merritt's theory of primitive religion. Some North American tribes call this power orenda. It is elsewhere known as Aren or Wakwa. Next, naturalism. Max Muller said that the earliest form of religion must have been worship of objects of nature, and evidence in support of such a view has come in from archaeological excavation conducted in Egypt and elsewhere. It is maintained that an attitude of awe or love and reverence towards objects of nature is born as a result of diseased mind which invests lifeless things with life and all the power that is associated with life. This error of mind is, according to this theory, born out of defective language. Such linguistics errors as the sun rises and sets, or thunder sends rain, or the tree bear flowers and fruits, gives rise to belief in some power inherent in the suns, thunders, trees, etc. So far as it is maintained that objects of nature were worshipped, no difficulty arises. Evidence in favor of such a practice is heavy. But any claim to such worship being the earliest form of religion or the explanation given is not convincing. There is no proof to show that various conceptions follow linguistic expression about the same. On the contrary, linguistic expression may follow certain already existent ideas. The merit and useless of these various theories emerges when they can taken together, as each of them expresses some essential truth regarding primitive religion. Functional theories of religion. Malinowski and Radcliffe-Brown have given functional explanation of primitive religion. Malinowski points out, with reference to the Trobriand Islanders, that religion is intimately connected with various emotional states which are states of tension. For example, quite a few of their magical and religious practices center around the fishing expeditions. They are the outcome of the state of fear which a possible disaster on the seas gives rise to. Similarly, hate, greed, anger, love, etc. may arise due to various situations in man's life. These situations create stress and strain, and, if permitted to exist over a long period of time, frustrate all action. A human being has to be an acting individual, and normal action is not possible in an emotionally upset state of existence. Religion is made use of in such a situation as a tool of adaptation. Its purpose is to purge the human mind of its stress and strain. That is, it is cathartic in its action. In other words, religion has the function of bringing about readjustment between man and the supernatural in upset states of existence. It is a device to secure mental and psychical stability in an individual's life. Radcliffe Brown takes a different stand. The function of religion, he says, is not the purge fear and other